Hello everyone, how's it going? So we're getting a first look at the upcoming new Battlefield game after 2042's horrendous disaster. Hopefully they learned their lesson, but if you look back at the Battlefield history, yeah, it's rife with a lot of controversies and problems. There are a lot of wins, but just as many L's, so let's see what the trailer's all about.
Defending that last point in breakthrough.
You and your squad going together, trying to accomplish something.
Helicopter crashes into the building next to you, and all of a sudden the roof drops on your head.
The vehicle play is the destruction.
You've got tanks, you've got jets.
You get a bit sweaty in your palms.
That full, all-out military experience. It's just unlike any other game I've played.
I mean, they're not wrong.
This franchise comes with a long history, spanning over 20 years now.
Caspian border.
The question is,
God, I miss it.
how do we continue to build on that and push Battlefield to the next level?
I mean, you dropped down a few levels with
I've been
2042.
playing Battlefield since long before I joined the team. When 1942 first came out, the amount of fun that we all sat down and had with it is just, still like a fond memory. So in joining the Battlefield team, it was about the opportunity to give that team that space to do something just more amazing even than they've done in the past.
We set out with this ambitious idea of creating this new Battlefield universe. And to make that vision a reality,
New
we had to
universe.
think big.
Each of our 4 studios comes with its own culture
Oh, boy.
and expertise into what we call Battlefield Studios.
One team that spans across the globe and combines 20 years of franchise experience with emerging talent.
I mean, we've heard this before.
DICE has such a rich history with Battlefield.
Let's just hope
We've
they
been
learn
working on
better
it for
communication.
years. But we also want to do something bigger and better than we've ever done before. And you can't do that with one studio.
DICE is responsible for the multiplayer part of the game, which incorporates things like destruction systems, class play, squad play, vehicles, gadgets, all of those kind of underlying systems that drive the experience.
I mean, hopefully it's better than 2042's destruction. Bad Company 2's destruction was
multiplayer maps, and we're
awesome.
also working on single-player mission content.
We're driving a cinematic experience to the level that's never been done on Battlefield before.
Ripple Effects has a long history of working on the Battlefield franchise.
We're working on an experience that is really going to open Battlefield up to a whole group of new players, but really still exciting that core audience that has made this franchise so successful.
We still haven't seen.
Have been supporting Battlefield.
This is a lot of PR speak. We haven't seen anything yet.
To the table as a fully fledged kind of partner in Battlefield Studios.
Mainly we've been focused on the single player experience. So the campaign is back for Battlefield.
Okay.
We have never before had this many teams and talents dedicated to the development of Battlefield. And we have a plan to create a new, exciting future for the franchise.
Show us something,
Alongside
except
our
like
players.
stuff in the background. I want to see
It
something.
has so much potential. So I think it's about giving
We're
the
halfway
teams time
done.
to really hone their craft.
We have to prototype, play test, get feedback,
And then repeat that loop.
Over and over and over again.
So we don't get another
We have to find
2042.
gameplay that really resonates with the players and then build on that.
Battlefield Labs is our new development initiative where players will get to test specific focus areas in the game.
So early access, basically. Test out features before we implement it, so we don't have a disaster.
We're doing it before we launch the game, and we're doing it with so much more content.
It's an exciting way for us to interact with our audience before things go live and make sure that what we have is really fun and polished.
And we have to test everything, combat to destruction to maps and modes.
We're going to test all the new features.
Again, just
of
show
putting
us
out, and we're gonna
something.
test
Just
hardware
seeing a
like
bunch of background.
vehicles and gadgets.
We can try different things, but also validate what players are expecting from Battlefield.
More guns,
That
destruction,
feedback is
team
crucial
play.
in helping us know what to prioritize, what needs improvement, and what feels like a true Battlefield experience.
We're pre-alpha, so now is the time to test all the experiences our teams have been building for our upcoming launch and beyond. Join
See
our
some
Discord,
train
where you can learn
trees in the
more about
background.
our new closed testing environment. We call it Battlefield Labs. Let's build Battlefield together.
Alright, finally! Already looks better than 2042! Dude, this reminds me of Battlefield 4's trailer. Okay, that reminds me a lot of how Battlefield 4 looked like. This right here. Dude, it looks incredible, but let's reminds me a lot of the Battlefield 4 trailer. Like, when you look at this... Like, it all looks amazing, but like, let's look at Battlefield 4. This is the trailer. Like, look familiar? I mean, they did show this in the... They did show this, glimpses in the Battlefield Labs trailer, but... Yeah. It's just Battlefield 4. Like, these two look exactly the same. Which is not a bad thing. Like, that's one, it's like go back to what Battlefield worked on. But the thing is that I don't trust anything they say. Like, here's the thing. You should never trust a game until it's available to the public. Like, you can go out to a store and buy a copy of the game. Remember Anthem, Cyberpunk 2077, Aliens Colonial Marines, Payday 3. The list goes on and on with vertical slices and false information. Remember this? Granted, this is a cinematic trailer, but a lot of us were fooled by this trailer. And then what did we get? Yeah! This is what we got.
I don't play video games that lie to me, you know? I mean, I just don't participate in that.
Yeah! And I'll give credit where credit is due. They did fix a lot of issues with the game. When I played it, like, this year, it was fixed. Even last year, like, they fixed a lot of bugs, a lot of issues, then they just cut off support to work on the new Battlefield game, but they fixed it. Like, I will give them credit for that. It's like with Star Wars Battlefront 2. They fixed it, then immediately when the game was taken off, they put it out to pasture and shot it in the back of the head. But, yeah. And you also should remember that the Battlefield franchise has a lot of negative reception behind it. Remember Battlefield 5? If you don't like it, don't buy it. Granted, this game, yeah, it wasn't the best, but I would say that the multiplayer was fun. Like, it was a fun multiplayer experience, and I gave it a shot, and it was an enjoyable game, but there was a lot more issues when it came to this. When it comes to the cosmetics and the microtransaction system of this game. But also, you should remember what they did with Battlefield 4. It was so bad that there was an open investigation into what happened with Battlefield 4's entire network systems. So, yeah, as good as this trailer looks, even if we only got like a few seconds of this, you should never, ever, you should never make a company forget what they did. Ever. Because I know there are people out there who are going to call me a cynic, but here's the thing, I don't feel bad for multi-billion, multi-million-dollar companies. They're not your friend. If they fail to deliver a product, and if they could get away with it, they would. That's why Madden is in the state that it's in. That's why FIFA is in the state, well, now it's FC. That's why we got Dragon Age the Veilguard. You have to hold companies responsible for this because they will keep doing it as long as they can make money or milk as much money from you as possible. If the microtransactions in Star Wars Battlefront 2 were a success, they would have put that in every single one of their games. They put the Madden microtransaction systems into Star Wars, and it was a huge backlash behind it, and I'm thankful for that. So if they could do it, they would do it. If they could shill another low-key, horribly developed Battlefield 2042, they would. So you should always hold these companies accountable for what they did. Don't make them forget everything they've said, everything they've done, and make sure you hold them to a higher standard, especially when it comes to EA right now. After Dragon Age the Veilguard failed, it only engaged 150, I say 150, it only had 1.5 million players who played the game, not sales, just people who played the game. FC was a huge failure, which was an even bigger blow to them, mostly because of brand name. Most people know it for FIFA, not FC. So Whether they're going to implement some really harsh microtransactions in this game, we have to wait and see, but it wouldn't go against my, common sense that they would do something like that, like they did with Star Wars Battlefront 2 before the massive backlash. And this is EA we're talking about. EA is profit first. They're not consumer first. They used to be until they went, I believe it's when they went public or Andrew Wilson took over, but either way, they used to be a paragon of consumer-first great games, just like Activision used to be before they became so anti-consumer. But never forget what they did. Make sure that you hold this company to higher standards, and most importantly, wait for the game to release. Don't get overly excited for these trailers, because I've been burned by this. This could be an entire vertical slice, and remember, gameplay is subject to change, and there are a lot of things I just don't trust right now. Until we get the game available, always be skeptical. But tell me what you think in the comments below. Are you excited for the next Battlefield? Do you think they're going in the right direction with this new installment? What do you think about the few seconds of gameplay we actually got? I love to hear other people's opinions, but that's it for me. Goodbye. Like, sub if you want, dislike if you dislike it. Goodbye.